Oh yeah, Deathglow added cut. Good stuff. All the bit train. Thanks, guys. Have I told you that you're completely useless, Vincent? Have I told you this? I don't know if I mentioned it. But you're totally useless. I keep forgetting that Sid's name is Shara. It cracks me up. That's such a great name. What's up, Zob? Good to see you, man. What's up, Sky Blue? I'm actually going to reset Vincent's limit so that he loses it. Pro strats. Ah, shoot. Whoa, 777 damage. Vincent is ahead of the memes. He knows what's going on. Did I paralyze him? Oh my god. That's amazing. I didn't even know this guy could be paralyzed. Or stop, actually. I was thinking to myself, is it paralysis or stop? It's stop. 100%. Yep. Do I have... I don't know why I bothered. All I have left is one enemy. But... What's up, Injustice? Thanks for coming. I always feel bad for that guy. He gets all the rage. After getting through everything else, you're like, come on, go, go, go. We only got a minute left. And it's like one guy, and you end up casting like Bahamut on him because you just want him to die. It took me way too long to figure out how that section actually works. I've probably done that like 100 times before I actually understood how it works. I mean, granted, once you get to that point, you can't lose, but still. Like, the way it actually works perplexed me forever. Thank you for all the train bits. On my way. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to do, but no, not really. I don't know if Ultima is going to be very useful for us. The animation for it's kind of long, so using it might not really be worth, but we'll see. It does do a lot of damage to a lot of things, so. Are there any Final Fantasy games connected at all in proof, not just theories? Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy VII are apparently connected based off the canon of Final Fantasy X too. But I think it's a load of bullcrap, so I think it's more of an Easter egg rather than actually being connected. But technically, in Final Fantasy X-2, there's a kid whose name is Shinra. And he says that later he's going to grow up and start a company, and apparently that's supposed to be Shinra Corporation. So technically, if that were true, then Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy X-2 and Final Fantasy VII would all be in the same world. Nah, I don't need the Imperial armor. Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's stupid that any of the Final Fantasies would be connected, because the whole point is for it not to be connected. What happened? If you kill the enemies before any more spawn, the game just thinks the game's over because there's no enemies left, so it just ends. So if you quickly place a bunch of characters next to each other in order to push where you're allowed to place the enemies, where you're allowed to place your characters, and then quickly blitz that one enemy before anything else spawns, then you just win, and you don't have to deal with the whole 5-minute minigame. I can't wait until that minigame in the Final Fantasy VII Remake is like some garbage online BS with loot boxes. Can't wait. Sign me up. Alright, this fight should not be a problem, but just in case it is, I will do this. And now I can't lose. So I put elemental enemy skill on Sid, so now he'll be immune to Ultima Beam. So now I pretty much can't lose unless Sid gets wrecked by Earth, which I don't think he will. For those of you who don't know, this fight is scripted. Ultimate Weapon always does a... what does he do first? The physical attack? Whatever he does first. It's just a single target attack, whatever it is. I think it's like that ball attack or whatever. And then he casts Earth 2, or Quake 2, and then he casts Ultima Beam, and then he leaves. It's always the same. There's no way to kill him. And you can also steal a curse ring from him if you can get it within 3 turns. I thought Quake 2 was second. I guess we'll find out. He uses 3 attacks. Physical attack, Quake 2, Ultimate Beam. Oh, you're right. Quake 2 first. Ow, did more damage than I thought. See if I can get a curse ring for the lulz. So if you ever have trouble with this fight, just put on elemental enemy skill and you win. Or elemental any yellow materia, I think. Or any blue materia for that matter, I think. Anything that doesn't have an element. I always just use enemy skill, I don't know why. Nah, his HP resets, Fred. I'm pretty sure. But the first time you fight him on disc 3, you can beat him in one shot. Like if the very first time you fight him, you do enough damage, he'll go right to Cosmo Canyon. But I don't think any damage here matters. Can you steal something from him? Yes, you can steal the curse ring. But I already have 9 because it's the curse ring challenge. But normally, you can only get the curse ring from that fight, or if you do the little Easter egg thing before Medeal gets blown up. Also, everyone pay attention to Cloud's face during this cutscene. Duh! It's my favorite. My favorite part of the whole game. Cloud's face. It's the best. Gets me every time. Think about the 77 bits. Yeah, Ultimate Weapon works kind of weird. He has a life bar in that fight, but the life bar doesn't do anything. He always just does the 3 attacks and leaves. I think if you could, which would be really hard, but if you could kill him before he used Ultimate Beam, I believe he does leave without using Ultimate Beam. But it doesn't affect anything. He leaves, he comes back on the end of disc 2, he still has the same amount of HP. But the next time you fight him, it's all about getting him below whatever amount of health. I think it's like 20,000 or something. And then he goes to Cosmo Canyon. You can get 2 curse rings. He always has a curse ring during that fight. So yeah, you can get 2, I believe. I don't think the game has any way of removing items from enemies' tables. Like, once it's there, it's there. I don't think there's any way to remove it. So if you got the curse ring before fighting a weapon, you should still have it. What's up, Mr. Naname? Ah, said it right this time. Yeah, you should be able to, Sky Blue. And like I said, I believe he leaves if you one-shot him. But like I said, it doesn't affect anything. You still don't get... Yo, Arco with the 7,777 bits. Thank you so much, my man. That beautiful 7777. Welcome back to the Bit Boss. I gotta fix the Bit Boss. It's trolling you. There you go. You just destroyed him with such rage, such power. What's up, Comic Kid? You overflowed him. Get wrecked. Get overflowed, dude. So anyways, yeah, if you one-shot Ultimate Weapon in that fight, I believe he leaves. He still doesn't give you experience, still doesn't give you anything. But, yeah, you can make him leave early if you were to do, like, tons of damage. It'd be pretty hard to do without cheating. I could probably do it with the Power Soul in the Curse Ring. Death Blow added cut. I don't know. That still would be hard. Tifa would need to get like 3 turns, and she doesn't really have the ability to get 3 turns. Oh, that's right. You don't even have Tifa during that fight. Crap. I don't know how you do it. You haven't been able to catch the streams lately. How's the 100 Platinum Challenge going? Still on Kingdom Hearts 2? So Kingdom Hearts 2 wasn't actually part of the 100 Platinum Challenge. Like, it was because it was a Platinum, but it wasn't actually like the game we were working on. We were working on Kingdom Hearts 2 because of Hearts-a-thon. And we're finished with Kingdom Hearts 2. We're on BBS right now. But with the Trophy Quest, we're on Metal Gear Solid 2. We're currently doing 100% runs of Metal Gear Solid 2 to get the Platinum. And then after that is going to be Final Fantasy XIII Lightning Returns, which should be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to go. That's 2 dances I owe Arco. Alright, put them on my tab. I'm busy. Put them on my tab. How can you platinum Final Fantasy IX for PS4? Curl up in a ball. Try not to cry. Cry a lot. The jump rope thing is stupid. I hate it. And I've done, like, stupid things, and I still hate it. I've done the lightning thing in Final Fantasy X. I've done freaking Cloud Solo Necrosis mod. I still hate the jump rope thing. It's the worst. It's just, oh, it's bad. There's a cheat for it, and I still don't want to do it. There's a cheat you can do with, remote play, and I still don't want to do it. And then on top of that, you need to fight 7 million random enemies because Square does a lot of drugs, like I mentioned earlier. Don't get me on a rant about trophies, okay? We're trying to not rant so much today. Don't bring up trophies, okay? I'll just sit here all day and scream about trophies. The jump rope is one of the worst trophies I've ever seen. Final Fantasy X complete grid takes forever, but it's not necessarily hard. It just takes forever. Final Fantasy 15 trophies, just put a rubber band on your controller and you're all set. But jump rope is nonsense. And at least the sphere grid leads to something, and at least the Final Fantasy 15 trophies lead to something. The jump rope doesn't lead to anything, it's just stupid. Even the Final Fantasy X lightning thing leads to something. It leads to Lulu's ultimate weapon. The jump rope thing is just like, here's this boring, tedious nonsense that you have to do for the trophy because we hate you. And we hate our fans. Yeah, it's dumb. Like I said, I've seen a lot of stupid trophies in my time, and that's one of the worst. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just I don't know. I've been on this tangent a million times, but in short, video game companies need to understand that trophies do affect whether or not people purchase games. They need to stop. They need to get out of their whatever world they're in, whatever fantasy land they're in, where trophies don't matter, and realize that they do matter. You know, you can argue with me all day that trophies don't matter, trophies are stupid, I don't care about trophies, yada yada yada. It's a moot point. The point is, there are people that do care about them. And companies need to realize that and start making better trophies. It's just silly. What is this song called? That's a good question. Normally I'm really good with this stuff, but this is a hard one. This is like one of the only parts that it plays in. Is it the mountain one? Other side of the mountain? Maybe. This is not Tifa's theme. Tifa's theme is the one that plays in 7th Heaven. I have like the entire soundtrack memorized almost. But that one's a tricky one because it only plays during that part, and I think maybe like 2 other parts of the game. That one's not one that a lot of people know. It's a good question. I think Squid is right. I think it's the other side of the mountain. Which just shows how little it's played, because that's a direct reference to that scene. So it might be the only part it plays. I feel like it plays another time though. I just can't think of when it is. What's up, Butterfly? You didn't miss a lot. This is the one. This is the big exposition part of the game, so there's not much gameplay actually. Once Cloud leaves the party, it's train, Fort Condor, it's a big story part, then train, then Fort Condor, then another big story part, and then we get to start playing the game again. You get to go fight carry armor, but this whole part's like a ton of story. So normally we just sit here and meme. So you missed a bunch of memes. That's about it. The heck is that noise? Dude, there's like some crazy bird outside my window or something. It's making some really weird noise. Yellow materia only? That'd be way too easy. I mean, no materia is pretty easy. So yellow materia only would be even easier. Plus you get enemy skill, and that's all you need to win. You get enemy skill and you get steel. I mean, it'd be a fun challenge for sure, but it wouldn't be very hard. I think casually, yellow materia only would be pretty fun. You just go through the game using enemy skill and stealing items and using items. It'd be fun. Is Cloud technically stronger than Zack? I mean, Zack's pretty weak, honestly. He's just, I mean, at this point, Zack is stronger. Because he's a soldier and Cloud isn't. But then Cloud goes Super Saiyan. And I think after that, he's pretty much stronger than everybody in the game. At that one point, he just goes Super Saiyan and he's like, "You killed Tifa!" And just super bulks, and then after that he's Superman. I agree, Magic Man. One of these days I'm going to make an entire video about this scene and how cool it is that they use the main theme here instead of a different theme. What's up, Brain Clouds? I have a question regarding speedrunning. What process do you go through? Do you try to run through the game a few times and try to figure out strats yourself, then start watching other people speedrunning to get strats? Or do you start off with watching other people speedrunning? So I would say 95% of speedrunners use other people's videos for strats first. But there are a select few that try to run a game completely blind first and then use other people's strats. I kind of do a mix, to be honest. There's been a couple games where I played it completely blind and just tried to speedrun it and then looked it up. But a lot of times watching someone else's speedrun is what gets me into it. For example, like Kirby 64, I never thought to speedrun, and then I watched a speedrun of it and I was like, I need to speedrun this. But at that point I already knew a lot of the strats because I watched a speedrun. Then there's games like Evoland where I like almost blind did it, except looking up the route in particular because I didn't really know what the best route would look like. But I blinded a lot of the strats first time because I felt like I would learn more doing it blind. Most of the time when I do a speedrun blind, it really helps me because I think outside the box. If you just watch someone else's video, you tend to just copy what they do and you don't really think for yourself. But if you do it blind, you'll come up with strats that no one else thought of because you're thinking in your own head. Sometimes that benefits, other times you realize that everything you're doing is just slower. You know, you never know, but it's usually good to try it once yourself just to, you know, use your own brain and come up with your own strats that maybe someone else hasn't thought of. I've seen so many times, like more than 10 times, like a lot of times, where someone does a strat in a game and it's just understood to be the fastest strat without anyone checking it. Like someone does a speedrun of Castlevania and at one of the stairs, like they could either go up the stairs or not, and they decide to go up the stairs, and then they get the world record, and then everyone watches the world record run and watches the guy go up the stairs and figures, oh, that's just the fastest way. And then that's like the standard for years, and then one day someone goes, what if we don't go up the stairs? And realizes that it's faster. So it happens all the time. Like the world record run tends to just be the default, and everyone just goes with that until otherwise proven wrong. And then one day some random runner will just be like, so I didn't go up the stairs and it was faster, and everyone goes, you know, so yeah, I definitely advise trying a speedrun blind every once in a while just to use your own brain and come up with your own strats and then see where they lie. 99% of Mario speedruns are tool assisted. That's I'm not gonna lie to you, that's really false. I don't know where you got that idea from. Tool assisted speedruns are pretty rare. Usually there's only one tool assisted speedrun of every game. Usually they'll make a task of a game once and then until something crazy is found, it's just the task for the game. 77% of statistics are made up on the spot. I believe it's 76 actually. Get wrecked. "205% of chat is memes." Well, crap. I guess that was a meme and I shouldn't have exaggerated. Well, even if you're exaggerating it, I don't know. That doesn't sound right. Like, there's really only one task of every game. I mean, like, Mario will have a task of, like, every section, probably, but... or every, category, but... I don't know why you can't talk to him. You have to leave and then he talks to you. There's actually a reason for that in Justice for All. There's a reason that Tifa isn't exposed to Mako poisoning there. It's kind of a really cool reason too. We talked about it last time we got to the live stream. Do you think that would be challenging to beat the game without attacking magic or summoning? Only items? There's been only items runs before. I've kind of wanted to try one. But to be honest, it's more boring than you'd think it would be. Like, it sounds cool, but in the end, it's not as cool as you would expect it to be. The problem is that there's pretty much good items throughout the whole game. You start off with grenades, and grenades kill everything in Midgar. And then you get to Costa del Sol, and you get Molotovs, and Molotovs wreck everything for a while. And then once you get to the world map, once you get the Tiny Bronco, you can go get dragon scales from the earth worm things. And dragon scales delete everything in the whole game up to like the final dungeon. Because it's basically a free Aqua Lung. So you just Aqua Lung everything forever. Let's see. I think somebody has good armor. You do. And you do. What does Yuffie have? I like this part of the game because it's finally like I get to use the party I want for the whole rest of the game now. I don't have to keep switching stuff anymore. I think I'm gonna have you be my magic dude. Give you restore. So I'm making Cloud like the utility. Like utility guy. And then Vincent's gonna be our magic caster because he should have the best magic stat. And then Tifa will be our attacker because I don't know if she does have the best attack stat, but if I decide to bring in the Power Soul, then she will, so. Should be about it. I'm gonna MP Turbo Ultima because I'm a madman. I'm throwing on Elemental just to level it up. Throwing on enemy skill just for the heck of it. Throw on time just for the heck of it. You should already have a restore. Give Tifo restore just for the heck of it. Yeah. Should be good. I need to do a little shopping because I'm like low on everything. I need to read up on my chat because I missed what all you guys were saying. Does anyone know how the game will react if you cheat into Gold Chocobo right after leaving Midgar and go to future places? So how that works, how the game works, is a little strange. It's not like any other game I've played. I mean, I think I've played a few maybe that work this way, but for the most part, most of the time the way games work is through flags. So for example, Cloud being sick in Medeal should be based on a flag from us doing the section in Junon. Like as soon as Tifa and Barrett get captured, that should be like a flag that says, okay, now Cloud is sick in Medeal. However, that's not how this game works at all. Instead, this game works on a number system, where every single thing in the game increments a single number. So for example, the game starts with number 0, and then when you do the very first dungeon, it'll be 10, and then you go fight Guard Scorpion, and it's 20, and then you do 7th Heaven, and it's 30, and it does that throughout the entire game. So when you go to an area that you're not supposed to be at, a lot of times what the game will do is just increment the number, and then everything that happens previous to that is just gone forever. So if you were to go straight from Midgar to like Rocket Town and meet Sid, everything before that would just, the game would think you've done it. So that's why skips work really well in this game, because if you do happen to skip somewhere, the game will just pick you up there as if you've always been there. So that's why like wrong warping works in this game. If you can get to the debug room, you can wrong warp right to the end of the game, and the game will just think you beat the game. You'll be like, oh, you're at the final boss, so everything else is complete. Good. Whereas a normal game would be like, wait a second, you're at the final boss, but you never did anything. So there's an issue. And then either like the final boss won't spawn, or the game will just crash because it's like, we don't know how you got here, or something like that. Yes, Rocket Town always has that music after, I think on Disc 2, actually. Ever since Disc 2 starts, it has that music. Because it's all sad that, like, oh no, they're trying to take the rocket and stuff. We can't do that yet because we have to go get the sub. Can't buy any items at all, no caves, no stealing, and some restrictions of your choice to make it hard enough and unique. Well, that would depend on what the restrictions are, my guy. I can't really answer that question unless I know what the restrictions are, because that could be anything. I mean, no items it can be rough, for sure. That's not a bad challenge, it's just no items. But I don't know, like an initial weapon or an initial armor challenge where you also couldn't use items would be really hard. Initial equipment on its own is pretty hard. So without items, that'd be tough. You'd be stuck. It wouldn't be impossible because grinding is still a thing. But you probably would have to grind quite a bit in some sections, and you'd have to stay near rest spots a lot. I have thought about doing an Aerith only challenge. I put it on our last vote and it did not win. But I came up with an Aerith challenge where she can only heal herself with her limits. So you're not allowed to use like restore materia or items to heal her. She can only heal with her limits. And you have to beat the whole game with only Aerith. But it didn't win the vote, so we didn't do it. I will still probably add it to the next vote if we do another vote soon. Yeah, Schizo was a while ago. We already beat Schizo. Am I worried about carry armor? Not really. He's a pretty... Yo, Injustice for All with that beautiful brand new sub. My man, welcome to the crew. Enjoy those foam figure emotes and that beautiful green materia badge. Yes, we would cheat so that she doesn't die, obviously. I'm not worried about carry armor. He's a pretty quick boss. If you nuke him. He might cause a little bit of a trouble. We'll see, but I don't think so. I think we'll be alright. None of his animations are super long. Lapis Laser isn't super long. Grabbing... Where am I going? Grabbing a character would be bad. But, we can cause him not to grab a character by throwing the Dragon Fang, which I will do. Speaking of which, so I don't tick off everybody on YouTube, I will put the Dragon Fang at the top of my inventory. We could use Magic Hammer on him twice, but that would take a while. So, it might not be a bad idea, because if he can't use Lapis Laser, he just stands there, which saves us a lot of time. But I'm going to try it without Magic Hammer. We don't have a ton of HP, so Lapis Laser will actually probably kill us. Without Sadness, but I'll put on Sadness. I need more Tranks. I forgot to buy more Tranks. But I have 3, so I should be okay. What will be the next hard boss? Diamond. Diamond is going to be rough. Diamond is going to be rough, and Hojo is going to be super rough. I think Diamond Weapon is rough as scruffy beard hair, and Hojo Weapon is sandpaper. I said Hojo Weapon. That should be his new name, Hojo Weapon. He's a weapon. Even Proud Clod is going to be a problem, but I think he'll be easier. Hojo's going to be a nightmare. I think Proud Clod will be possible. Hojo, I'm almost at like a maybe impossible on active battle. Without like friggin' Knights of the Round or something stupid. I don't know. With Power Soul, it might be possible. Without Power Soul, I'm worried about Hojo. I don't know if he'll be possible. Unfortunately, I don't want to use beta because I've seen it crash the Steam version before. It's really rare, but I've seen it happen. I think it only happens when the game is modded, though. Like, I think it's only happened on the 7th Heaven mod. I don't think I've ever seen it happen on vanilla. But I just kind of... I'm like, why risk it when I have Aqualung? But I'm pretty sure beta wouldn't crash the game on vanilla. But I've seen it crash 7th Heaven for some strange reason. Hey, it's our boy. What? 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 Am I crazy? Don't mind me, I'm just, like, losing my mind. There, I'll use beta. I could have swore I put Comet on Vincent, so when I opened up his magic and I didn't see anything, I got really confused. I was like, what the heck? Because I could have swore I gave it to Vincent. I gave Vincent Ultima, and that's why he has nothing, because Ultima's still level 1. But I could have swore I gave him Comet. Here. What's up, Death Separates Us? Thank you for the 100 bits. Every little thing she does is magic challenge. Only allowed to use female characters, and those characters can only equip magic materia. That is a very strange challenge. Interesting, though. Every little thing she does is magic challenge. I like the more gimmicky challenges. I think they're a lot more fun. Doing something like no item, no materia, initial equipment, you know, low level, hands tied behind your back, peg-legged with an eye patch challenge is fun and all, but it's just like super hard and it's not necessarily interesting. I much prefer the gimmicky challenges like this where it's like we just have no idea what's going to happen. We don't know if it'll be easy or hard. I like Beta's animation too. I like the sound effect. And I love the sound effect of using an E skill. Oh yeah, S-Mines too, and right arms are both really good items to use if you did like an item only challenge. You could just steal right arms for a long time and then use those for a huge section of the game. Oh, that's true, though. You can't steal. I don't know if anyone drops right arms. I know S-Mines are dropped, because we just got one. I'm not sure if anyone drops right arms. I want to say that someone does, but I'm not sure who. No toilet challenge. If the Final Fantasy VII boss music is now banned on YouTube, how come certain YouTube videos still play it? Because it doesn't affect old videos, it only affects new videos, and it doesn't delete the video, it just demonetizes it, so you can still play it, it's just you won't make money off your video. Which for certain people doesn't matter. For people who make a living off of YouTube, it's a problem. Plus, it's never good to be demonetized because YouTube doesn't like when you get demonetized. Like, it doesn't look good for you when it happens. So you should avoid it. Even if you don't care about the money, you should avoid it at all costs. Thank God they're not grabbing old videos for it, because if they did, it would just, like, destroy my whole livelihood. It would literally grab, like, 200 challenge videos at that point. That would suck. What's up, Maggie? Thank you for 100 bits, right? Riao. I was trying to say Ryu, but it's not. It's Riao. Riao Hayarao. Scrooge McDuck challenge. You cannot buy items and only utilize the items and materia you find throughout the game. Also initial equipment. Because Scrooge wouldn't want to waste anything. Well, that kind of sounds like our scavenger challenge that we're working on. Sort of, with a twist. Would Twitch play Final Fantasy VII work? Yeah. Anything would work. At this point, they beat Celeste. They can do anything. That blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe they beat Celeste. That, like, how? Celeste is the most button-heavy strategy, like, you have to press all the right buttons at all the right times to beat Celeste, and it's a difficult game. I don't know how that even happened. That's what I heard. I heard that that Twitch Plays beat Celeste. For those of you who don't know, Twitch Plays is a Twitch channel where the chat directly influences the game. So if you say X in the chat, then the game will press X. And everyone just spams buttons in the chat in hopes that they beat whatever game they're playing. It started off with Pokemon for the longest time, but then they started doing other games. And apparently they did a Celeste run, and apparently they beat the game, which blew my mind. So yeah, they could definitely do Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is actually just a bunch of menus, so they could figure it out. Alright, so we're not going to use Power Soul to see if we can do it without the Power Soul, as always. I am going to use Tranks because Lapis Laser will probably kill us. Jen plays Final Fantasy VII Challenge where Death is allowed to give hints after each game over and he will be entertaining the chat the whole time. God, that would be a nightmare. The challenge where Jen tries to play Final Fantasy VII and I just yell, put it in the bowl the whole time. Yeah, I don't know why. I wish they would have put the save point in this room. It would have been really nice. What I always do is I kill the enemies and then go back. That way I don't have to fight the enemies again. Okay, we need to reset your limit. Let's see how this goes. This will be interesting. I'm going to use the spider web. But I don't know. I think this will be alright. I'm more worried about dying, to be honest, than the curse ring. I'm worried about like a double lapis laser to my face. I think we'll be able to do enough damage. I'm just afraid that we won't be able to kill him. I'm going to use a lot of summons because I want to kill the arms, but I don't want to waste time attacking the arms. So summons will do a lot of damage and get rid of the arms. I mostly want to get rid of the arms, not because they'll grab me, but because they take turns, and that wastes time. So I want to get him down to his body so that all he does is lapis laser. I bet you weren't expecting that, huh? You like my tune? I had to keep it down low until the battle started. It fits so well. It feels like it could be the boss music, you know? God, this is so much better than I thought it would be. Sounds amazing. It's like, oh, it fits so well. Should have done this earlier. That's gonna hurt. Nice crit. And again. No? It should loop. I don't know why it wouldn't. Nope, I guess it doesn't loop. I'm not, like, I didn't expect it to be a perfect loop, but I figured it would loop. Not sure why it doesn't. I figured the song wouldn't be over by the time we won. Nice. Need to add loop start 0 to the file as a meta. Oh, so it goes on the file, it doesn't go in the code. I'll remember that. So I figured because it's the curse ring challenge, we would be done with any fight before the song ended. But that fight was really long because I used a bunch of summons. Now replay your alert. Okay. Replay. Yo, Dollar, thank you for the 16-month resub. Our first 16-month resub on this beautiful John Day. I forgot to mention it's John Day today. It's the day for all the original resubs to resub. And Ataru's the first. Thank you for being here for 16 months. Tier 2. Thank you so much for the support. So yeah, so far we've been able to get through the whole game without the Power Soul. If I can complete the Curse Ring Challenge without the Power Soul, I'll be impressed. Because I don't know if the end game is going to be possible without it. Not at least without, like, a bunch of grinding. Now the final boss. This freaking fight. This fight has ended so many challenges. So we have lost to this fight so many times. In so many different challenges. It's awful. Luckily, we actually have health in this challenge, so it's not a big deal. How do you increase the number of months you subscribe? If you do it with Twitch Prime, then you need to every month resub. Just come to my channel every month and hit the sub button again. If you do it via actual money, then it just does it automatically. You're just subbed until you say, I'm not subbed anymore. There isn't like a amount that you sub. At least as far as I know. You might be able to sub for a specific amount. I don't think so, though. I'm pretty sure it's just automatic until you quit.